Welcome everybody to another great episode of the Alpha Sports Talk Show. Definitely glad to see you guys. Um, we have an outstanding show. Let me just make sure that everything's connected. All right, we're gonna make sure we have an outstanding show. It is game on here in Cooperstown. In fact, we're gonna get the show started by cranking up the first song of the day. That's the Scam Scola intro song. We're gonna go ahead and knock this out. Let's go.
The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Your host is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest. Show highlight. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. 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 Comes in four varieties: Chef cheese, Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef cheese, Florida barbecue sauce, Florida gold honey mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, so delicious and addicting. You made it support group. Definitely can't live without that great Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So make sure you guys visit him at flbbqsauce.com. Again, that's flbbqsauce.com. Let me put that banner back up here, right here. 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, so delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Definitely don't forget to visit him at flbbqsauce.com, and it's flbbqsauce.com. So yes, it's gonna be a fantastic show, and you guys know what time it is. So we're gonna go ahead and kick things off. Definitely appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, and what we're gonna do now is make sure that you guys go ahead and visit Chef G's right there, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. So yes, man, I had to tell you, with Cooperstown, one of the things that I would have to tell you, when you come out here, make sure 110% you make sure that you keep your eyes open at all times. Like kind of like, so I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so you always kind of keep your eyes open. You kind of look from the left and right, but even more so, be on high alert, just because you never know who you're gonna run into. Just before the show started, about 40, I say about a little over an hour ago, went through the Baseball Hall of Fame again. I can't get enough. And guess who was there? Mike Lowell. So I was able to go ahead and see Mike Lowell, take a picture with him. You know, he was going through the museum, just enjoying it just like I would. And he was going through there. Another example was earlier today. I had already got my media credential. I was just hanging out in the media area, just talking to someone else, in fact. And then all of a sudden I look, and it's Tim Kirchin. I took a picture with Tim Kirchin. That's awesome, man. You just never know who you're going to run into. So that's just a small example. I put up the picture for you guys too, and going through the museum, and that's why you want to keep your eyes open and make sure that everything's up on a high alert, that you keep an eye open. Let me just make sure that, yes, be on high alert, because one thing about Cooperstown is that you don't want to miss out on a great opportunity, and it can happen quick. You just walking in, look to the right, and then it could be a former player, a Hall of Famer, a current player, and beyond. So you just never know who you're going to run into. And like I was mentioned to you guys, I ran into, Negro League player, great Pedro Sierra, at the museum the day before. So, and he was signing autographs today. He's got an event, so you got to make sure you always stay on high alert, because you will see some people, and it's still somewhat early. Like, what I mean by early, tomorrow, which is Saturday, and Sunday, you're going to probably see the bulk of the Hall of Famers. So just a heads up, I did want to let you guys also know that there is a Pete Rose fans. He's they call him Charlie Hustle, for not for anything other than the guy really is Charlie Hustle. I mean, this guy is going to be signing autographs. Let me see here. Let me show you guys. Let me pull this up. Okay, so he's signing. Check this out. Pete Rose, Thursday from 11 to 4, Friday from 11 to 4, Saturday from 11 to 4, and that's which is today, and Sunday from 10 to 1. I'm sorry, Friday, which is 11 to 4 today. Tomorrow he's signing from 11 to 4, and Sunday from 10 to 1. So he's putting in the work. He's definitely putting in that work, and he's Charlie Hustle. So yeah, you got the Cooperstown. That's just one of many signings. All the way on Main Street, there's also, I have to make sure I mention, Gary Sheffield too is going to be signing as well. Let me give you his schedule too. And let me just pull it up here. Give me one moment. Let you guys see it. Okay. So he was signing today, but Gary Sheffield will be also signing tomorrow and Sunday on Main Street. And that's going to be 124C Main Street, Cooperstown, New York. 124C Main Street, Cooperstown, New York. So big things are happening. Make sure you guys go ahead and tune in, watch the event. Tomorrow's going to be a busier day. Tomorrow, the golf course. There was actually some guys on the golf course today, but I didn't go over there today. Tomorrow I'll go there, and there'll be a lot of the guys golfing, so I'll get a chance to talk to them. Let me tell you about today's event. What happened today? Today you had Ozzie Smith, you had Jim Cott, you had Scott Rowland, and you also had Crime Dog Fred McGriff, and they were having a clinic. And the nice thing about this clinic is, you get a chance to talk to Scott Rowland, but also you get a chance to rotate. So you'll talk to Scott Rowland for a period of time, Ozzie Smith, Jim Cott, and Fred McGriff. So you're going to get difference. You're going to have 4 Hall of Famers giving you a perspective on baseball, and you can't go wrong. These guys are the best of the best. They're enshrined in Cooperstown. Let me explain that to you. In order for you to get enshrined in Cooperstown, less than 2% of the major league players that make it to the major leagues make it in Cooperstown. Less than 2%. They said on the wall it's a little over 1%. They didn't say, which I can understand because you don't want to change the sign every single time it goes up or down, but they said just over 1%. So I like to make things easier and so that you can understand it and grasp it real quick. I say less than 2%. And the reason why I say it's less than 2% because that number could be 1.8, it could be 1.5, 1.6, 1.1. I say less than 2%. That's why I know I'm covering my bases. Less than 2% of Major League Baseball players make it into the Hall of Fame. So just think, that's not easy feat to do it. So when people say that this guy's borderline, this guy's a first ballot, this guy wasn't unanimous, he should be, there's a lot that goes into that. Number one, is he in the Hall of Fame? Because once you're in, you're in. Regardless of whether someone thinks you should be in there, somebody wishes you weren't in there, wishes you were in there. Once you make it to Cooperstown and you have a plaque on the wall, it really doesn't matter somebody's opinion of whether you should be in there or not because you met the criteria. The criteria is 75% of the votes. 75% of the writers have to think that you were good enough to be enshrined in Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. And get 75% of the vote on a lot of things, it's not easy to do because, people have different opinions. Some person might think you're a great player, but they may not like you. They're trying to slight you. Some person, it doesn't matter to them whether you matter. They just look at your credentials. You get a mixed bag, and that's what it is. But you have to have 75%. And to me, that's the criteria, 75%. And a lot of times people say, hey, this person should be first ballot. Well, there's a few things you need to think about. You only get 10 votes as a voter. So if somebody's about to be taken off the ballot, guess what? You might vote for someone else over them because of the fact that, this person might be removed, somebody else might be removed off the ballot if you don't vote for them. Then that year you might vote for them and not vote for somebody you know is going to make it. Well, that one non-vote takes them away from being unanimous.
in certain cases. So it's a mixed bag. You only get 10. Some years that's easy to get to 10. Some years it's not as easy, meaning there might be more than 10 guys you might vote for. Some years it lines up good where 10 is just right. It's kind of like Instagram. You can only put 10 pictures on a post at a time. And if you just sometimes just right at 10, it's perfect. But sometimes you take 50 pictures and they're all magnificent and you have to crunch it down to 10. That's not as easy to do. It's not as it's not as easy to do. Or if you have 20 pictures and you have to cut it down to 10 and you love all 20, you have to kind of pick and choose which 10. And that's sometimes what happens when the ballot comes out and what year you're available to be inducted. So that's something to consider. Only 10 votes. But the bottom line is once you make it in, it's an outstanding achievement. It is very, very majestic, very, very awe-inspiring to make it to the Hall of Fame. You know, when your name is on that plaque, going through the hall, it's just you're a Hall of Famer. No one could take that away from you. That's what I love about it. Somebody could disagree. Hey, you shouldn't be in there. At the end of the day, you're on the wall. You're on the wall, so it is what it is. You know what? I'm looking at a beautiful scenery here. Got some beautiful green trees here. Let me show it to you guys real quick. And I'm gonna go ahead and do it like this. That's beautiful. And the only reason why I didn't have it face the other way is just that if I this is what you can get is what's called shadows. And shadows will make it hard for you to see me. Like I'll look dark if I was sitting right in front of the camera. And I actually had it this way, but I had to flip it around because it was getting shadows. So let me flip it back. And one of the things you got to be able to do when you play baseball, if you want to make it Hall of Fame, you got to be able to hit curveballs and you have to be able to put some of those backdoor sliders in play. You may not hit them all, but you got to be able to hit some of them in play. I got thrown a backdoor slider. I was actually going to do the show inside the media center, but they decided instead of closing at 9, they decided to close at 7. And the good thing I actually came there at 7 to get ready because if I didn't, my laptop would have been locked away for the night. So I came there. I was like, "Hey, you guys are locking up?" And they threw me a backdoor slider, in Cooperstown. So I had to find a spot to do it, and this spot was perfect. I had to find a spot that was quiet and peaceful where I can communicate with you guys. Unfortunately, the call-in number is down. I tried several times, so you can chat with me here, but unfortunately, you won't be able to. Unfortunately, you won't be able to call in on tonight's show. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened, but let me just make sure. Here's something. You guys are doing good. All right, so we're doing great here, and just want to make sure you guys are all right. Now, in order for me to go ahead, one of the things that you guys need to make sure you do, you got to make sure that if you are in the market for a new home, you got to make sure you go ahead and call my great friend Kurt McCrae up. Thank you, CTC Emmy Mortgage, for being a great sponsor. That's Kurt McCrae. That's right. If you need a new home, whether it be in Texas, whether it be in Florida, Kurt McCrae can help you. That's right. Kurt McCrae can do it. You can start building equity today by getting that new home. Today is a perfect day. I tell you right now, Kurt McCrae's got you covered. He's going to make sure you get that awesome deal. If you don't have a lot of money, put money down. He got you covered. That is correct. And that is none other than Kurt McCrae. He's going to go ahead and he's your man. Turn your home equity into cash. And that's right. So Kurt McCrae is your man. Your guide to cash out refinancing starts here. I'm ready to guide you through the cash out refinance process. If you're looking to get a house refinanced, Kurt McCrae can help you. Rental properties too, Kurt McRae can help you. Home ownership begins with the mortgage, and that's right. You can go ahead and visit the website, ccmemortgage.com, or you can go ahead and feel free to call, text 346 527 7564. Kurt McRae, you call or text at 346 527 7564. And Kurt McRae's your man. In fact, we're going to play another Sam Scola song, and that is none other than the CTC Emmy Mortgage song, sang by Sam Scola Songs. Check that song out. I'm going to play it for you right now.
CTCME Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Make the call today. There's no extra fees to pay. You can take a loan to own a new home. CTCME Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Get a low interest rate, there's no need to wait. Finance a payment plan. Kurt McRae is your man. CTCME Mortgage Company. CTCME Mortgage Company. CTCME Mortgage Company.
CTCME Mortgage Company. Make sure you guys, if you need a home in Texas or in Florida, Kurt McRae can help you. Make sure you visit him at ctcmemortgage.com, ctcmemortgage.com. Call or text at 346 527 7564, 346 527 7564. Let Kurt McRae know that you heard about him from the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show. So thank you so much, CTCME Mortgage, for being our show sponsor. Really dramatically appreciate you. That's awesome. So yes, that's right. I'm here live in Cooperstown, New York. Beautiful, beautiful town. And you just got to keep your eyes open because you just never know who you're going to run to. Like I said, Mike Lowell, he was at the museum. And today was a day that I actually didn't go out much. I had the baseball with Ozzie Smith and friends. That was cool. But then the rest of the day, I was at the media center doing things. At the media center, ran into Tim Kirchin, and then go to the museum. I was there just for about an hour and a half, and Mike Lowell was there. And I know there's other players and family members that go through the museum. I just happened to run into Mike Lowell, so I got a picture with him, and that was awesome. I'll put that up too. And Pedro Sierra, that was yesterday. Got to keep your eyes open. And today is really where you'll start seeing some of the people show in. I would say most of the guys will, I think, get in today. Yeah, I would say today. I would say most of the Hall of Famers will get in today because if they want to play golf, golf is early tomorrow. I'm going to give you guys some great insight on that. And the cool thing about that is that's not open to the public. And that is something that only media will be allowed to see and the golfers. So it's not open to the public tomorrow.
and I'll give you guys some behind the scenes, let you guys see what's about. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great event. So golfing tomorrow and a whole lot more. So make sure you guys keep connected, stay in tune to the Allen Alfred Sports Talk show. And the great thing about Cooperstown is if you've never been here, this is my third trip here. You got to make sure you come down and make sure you go through the museum. And when I say go through the museum, I don't mean go through it in an hour. That museum, literally, if you went through it, it could take you 3 to 4 hours. If you didn't rush and you kind of took pictures along the way and you enjoyed the museum, yeah, I would say for sure because there's a little video that's about 30 minutes that I would recommend you see. The souls of the game, they have great things on guys in the past. And speaking of Hall of Fame, I watched a video that I really want to share with you guys that went through some of the records that the person felt were unbreakable. There are two records that are very difficult to break, but I don't think they're unbreakable. I really don't. And I'm not trying to throw shade on the person or persons because there's two of them. It's just I feel the best way to break a record is to break down the record. Again, the best way to break a record is to break down the record, meaning if you just look and think about the big number, the end number, and that's all you focus on, it's going to seem astronomical. It's going to seem untouchable. It is. It's just going to look like, oh, I got to get this number. It's going to discourage you. It's going to frustrate you. And you're going to make you feel like you are not possible of achieving it. But remember, all the records are meant to be broken, number one. And all these records are by great baseball players but they are human beings that have broken these records, not robots. So if some man did it, everybody has a grace and a talent. There is a possibility that somebody else can do that job and do it a little bit better. Let me talk about the first record that I feel can be broken. And I'm not going to lie to you, when my goal in life when I was growing up was to actually break this record, and I felt as if I had the opportunity to make it to the major leagues, I would have broke this record. That's how confident it is. And it's not being cocky, it's not being brash, but I feel like this is an obtainable record that you can break. And again, like I said, in order for you to break a record, break down the record. No one's ever told you that. Break it down. The record, first and foremost, that I feel that can be broken is Joe DiMaggio's 56 game hitting streak. Joe DiMaggio's 56 game hitting streak. It's an impressive record. It really is. What that means is he got a hit in 56 consecutive games, and on 57, the streak ended. So he had 56 consecutive game hitting streak. If you break this record down and you just look at 56 games, I got to hit 56 games in a row, I got to get a base hit 56 times in a row, it will probably discourage you. But if you break down the record, not so much. In order for you to break Joe DiMaggio's record, you have to get a hit, one hit, 2 months straight. It's not a record that you have to do, 300 strikeouts in a career. You have to play, in his particular situation, 15 years plus, where some of the records you may have to put in that type of time to get to that number. Joe DiMaggio, if you break it down, you have to get a hit for 2 months, for 60 days. It doesn't have to be a home run. It doesn't have to be a double. It doesn't have to be a triple. You have to get a base hit, a clean base hit, in one base hit for 60 days. One base hit for 2 months. So you can do this record on your last year of your career. You can do it on the first year of your career. You can do it in the middle of your career. You can do it in the beginning of your career. The person who I felt had probably the best opportunity and game to probably do it is the guy that's more than likely going to be unanimous next year, and that's Ichiro Suzuki. Ichiro Suzuki, I believe, next year will join Mariano Rivera in being unanimous. If somebody doesn't vote for him,
I understand the 10 votes, but I don't see 10 votes where you don't put Ichiro Suzuki on the ballot. That's just my opinion on it. Ichiro Suzuki, if he played more years here in the U.S. and a few years less in Japan, probably would have the hit record over Pete Rose. And not only that, here's a good possibility he would be a guy that could break that record because he's a tough out. Now when I say you got to get it for 2 straight months, 60 days, one hit per month, there's a few things that have to be in play too. You have to be a batter that has some speed. You have to be able to run to break that record because if you're not fast, you're there's gonna be a couple of days in there, a couple of games, I should say, where your speed is gonna either get you that hit or cost you that hit. If you have speed, that will definitely play in your favor. If you're a hitter that gets out of box quick, that will also play in your favor. And if you're a guy that I would say in that type of record would be more favorable for more of a contact hitter or line drive type hitter, that will be a better record for them to break. If you are a home run or a power hitter, probably not because you're taking a full follow through in your swing. You're taking, more of a swing, so to speak. That would probably not be the right type of record for you to go after. But if you're a contact hitter and you're a person who can get on base, Tony Gwynn is a contact hitter. I just feel as if, if he was a little bit more, may he rest in peace, outstanding baseball player. Outstanding. Tony Gwynn, I feel like, maybe if he had a little bit more speed and that was more of his game, he would have a chance to break it. Johnny Damon's another player who I felt had a chance to break that record too. Ichiro Suzuki, as I mentioned, even Pete Rose, one hit for 2 straight months. That record I feel can be broken. The next record that I feel has a good shot of being broken, if a player were to be really motivated, really diligent, and it's not to throw shade on this person again, the record who I feel that can be broken is actually Ricky Henderson's steal record of 1406. You might be like, whoa, 1406? How could you break that record? The best way to break a record is to break down the record. What you need to do is to average 50 steals for 15 years. 50 steals for 15 years. Now, you might say, like, whoa, that's a lot. Not really, because most Hall of Famers usually get, not in all cases, but the majority of Hall of Famers usually play at least 15 years in the major leagues. So the longevity